we have.
Yeah. And the thing is just bypassing that.
Yeah.
You know, I do the Elman Induction. I'm going to teach that to you today.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think it's the most reliable. I use it with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I usually have them to a very susceptible state by the time I get them to the chair, and I get them into somnambulism, which is a deep state of hypnosis, within 4 minutes. The Elman Induction takes 4 minutes, and you saw I used that on Bob last week, and you saw it didn't take me very long to get him into hypnosis. Progressive relaxation. A lot of people use that. Okay, I would, and one thing I'm going to teach you how to do the Elman Induction and be wonderfully confident at it. Okay, and what you'll find is the progressive relaxation. It's safe. You know, you don't. There's less pressure on you. You can just say, just let your eyes relax. And you know, every now and then, I will occasionally do that with people. People are like scary kind of people, you know, they're jumpy people, you know. I'll let them relax more and more, and I'll work that into the Elman Induction and everything, just a little more relaxation. And it's more gradual for them, you know. But to me, you know, I don't want to sit there for 15 minutes with people. I know, I'll go crazy. It's too boring to me.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather have them in here. That is, say, 11 minutes that I could just be pounding them with suggestions while we're in hypnosis. So I'm taking more advantage of my time. And I'll keep people in hypnosis 45 minutes to an hour. You know, I give them their money's worth when they come to see me. I charge high, but I give them their money's worth, and I get a high success rate because I pound them in suggestion. I'm talking for an hour straight with them. You know, a lot of it's stuff that I do over and over. I don't use scripts. However, when I look at my sessions, they're virtually almost identical. I do the same things over and over with people. I had a problem in that when I'm working with people, I have a hard time reading, you know. So I started when, you know, I first began just winging it with people. You know, I get things from watching other people, see how they do things. I learn from that. And the thing is that over an hour, it's kind of like throwing spaghetti at a wall. Some of it's going to stick, you know, and they're going to like certain things more than others. So I'll take the same thing and I'll say it 4 or 5 different times. You know, I'll repeat a lot because that's compounding, and that's something that's very important. And I'm going to teach you all the laws of compounding when we get into them. But the analytical people, sometimes they're the only people that I have had, and I've only had in the years I've been doing it, I've only had 2 people I couldn't put into hypnosis. And one was a guy who really wanted to go into hypnosis. I mean, this guy was dying to go into hypnosis. However, I ran into a concept called they call it the hidden observer, right? And it's real rare, but there's a part of you that wants to go into hypnosis, but there's another part of you that wants to watch yourself go into hypnosis. It's almost like somebody's there watching. And that's part of your conscious mind, right? And so as long as that observer's there, you're not going to be in the moment, right? You're trying to listen to to what's going on. And sometimes you'll get that in hypnosis classes, right? Okay, because you're here to learn, right? And when I'm hypnotizing you, or Bob was easy last week. He didn't do that. But sometimes when you're in class, you're saying, oh, I want to hear what he's doing. you know, because I want to learn this, you know, and it's natural to do that. You'll get that, you know, and you won't be able to just let go completely and really just go right through that critical faculty bypass, you know. And you know, real analytical people, real thinking, busy mind, you know, real analyzers, they're a little more difficult. But I found that often the best way to work with them is sometimes the quicker the better. Okay, because you're giving them less time to think about things. You're just making bam, bam, bam. And I'll take that Elman induction and I'll take it up to like 2 minutes or less. You know, they're also great candidates for a thing that they call instant inductions. Okay, are you familiar with that term? That's where you basically induce hypnosis instantaneously. Okay, and it's usually done with a shock. You know, usually you yell at people, sleep! And stage hypnotists do it all the time because it's very dramatic. I generally don't use it in my practice because it's rough, you know. It's, you don't want to take an older woman and go, sleep! You know, can you put them into hypnosis? Yeah. But however, with analytical thinkers, could be of good use because you don't give them time to think about anything or analyze everything. You just go right past that and you just kind of push them right into it. And I'll teach you an instant induction. Okay. The Elman induction is really what they would call a rapid induction. Okay. Where you get down under 4 minutes. That's fairly rapid. Where you look at probably the benchmark is that progressive relaxation. You're talking about 10, maybe 15 minutes.
That's what it was with mine.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. See, I don't think that's needed or necessary. I don't use it. And I work with all kinds of people.
I think from a patient standpoint, it requires a lot of patience from the patient. You know what I mean? Like what you did was pretty quickly got me there. When I went through the other one, I can imagine there were times when I only did one hypnosis, but I can imagine there were times where I'd be fidgety while she was trying to get me.
Yeah. And
No,
your
not me. I
mind's
loved it.
Did you?
Yeah, I loved it. I remember
I was like, okay, let's get there, let's get there, let's get there.
Yeah, no, I was just totally enjoying it.
Yeah.
But I see your point. I'd rather be helping my client more than that.
Yeah, get them in and then do the work down there. But the Elman's like a rapid, they call it a rapid technique as opposed to like 11, 15 minutes. The Elman should be done in 4 minutes. Okay, because if the benefit of it is it's quick and it gets you right there and everything. And I know that a lot of the guys who teach it, Jerry Kine teaches it, and actually I'm good friends with Dave Elman's son, and he teaches it now. He retired and he was in the Air Force, I believe, and he's retired now, and he actually started teaching hypnosis in the last few years. So I've kept pretty good touch with him. In fact, he sent me an email this week and stuff. We were talking. But he says over 4 minutes, you give them too much time to think, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you keep them on that pace, and you just pretty much, as you saw, you were pretty much directed. I had you doing something all the time, you know. So I didn't give you much time to think. So those analytical thinkers, you can get around them, you know. But there's something to be aware of. Another thing, like I do the Elman induction, and the deepening part of it is having you count backwards from 100. And then lose the numbers, okay? And as we get into states of hypnosis, I'll show you what they all signify in that Elman induction. But the problem that I do have is that if I get somebody who's like in finance or an accountant, okay, they've been trained all their lives never to lose numbers. right? So I'm telling them something that's against really all of their training, and it's difficult for them, you know. And sometimes they won't lose the numbers. They just won't. Now, you know, a lot of people who teach the Elman Induction say, make them lose the numbers, right? Okay. I found that if they're not going to lose the numbers, they're not going to lose the numbers. Now, sometimes if I find out they're an accountant, and it doesn't work with all accountants, some accountants will lose the numbers, but some of them will keep them, and I'll just let them go to zero. You know, it only takes me, another minute or two, and it's a pain in the butt. But by the time I'm giving them suggestions, the whole time they're counting backwards. And by the time they reach to zero, they're about ready to collapse on the floor. You know, because they're just holding on to these numbers. I'm saying you're getting so tired and so sleepy that when you get done, you're just going to go so deeply and completely into hypnosis.
Well, when you did it to me, you actually said we're going to count from 100 backwards, and you said somewhere 95, 94, 93. You're going to start to lose these numbers.
If you followed my instructions and doubled the relaxation of your mind, each number, you'll find that those numbers have become dim, distant, and far away, and they just won't be there for you anymore.
But didn't you create an expectation in me that if this doesn't occur by 93, that somehow it's not working?
I was pushing you.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't want to spend a lot of time with you. And I do that with all my clients, not just you.
Okay, so let's say you do it with somebody and they get to 93 and
They'll still go. Because I'm not saying that if you get back to like 95 or 96 and those numbers aren't going, nothing's working for you and you're a failure. I'm not saying that. I say, you know, and after you get back a few numbers, now maybe to 96 or 95, I'm saying maybe, you know, you'll find that if you followed my instructions, those numbers will become dim and distant and just won't be there for you anymore. And then I say, I can't do this for you, but if you want it to happen and let it happen, it'll happen. So I'm really not saying, I'm guiding them, saying this isn't going to take long. Because if you don't give them a target, right, they don't know when they're going to disappear. But I'm telling them it's going to happen pretty quickly. If you follow my instructions, it's going to happen quickly. And you do what I'm telling you to do. You relax your mind twice as much every time. That it should only take a few numbers, you know, to go back. So I'm kind of saying, if you follow my instructions, it should happen this quickly. And if it really, I'm trying to communicate to them, if it doesn't happen that quickly, you're not following my instructions. And so get with the program.
That's funny.
Yeah.